Crashes a little bit. Looks like we had a reload there. Wow, are we getting reloads? 8 gigabytes of RAM, 3 reloads back to back. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a speed test between the S25 Ultra, iPhone 16 Pro Max. This is my third episode on this topic. But what I wanted to change based on a poll, over 70% of you did say you would like to see a reduced or no animations style of test. So what I did was I turned off animations in developer options and I reduced motion over here on the iPhone. So all you have to do is go over here to accessibility. You'll scroll to motion here and you'll just reduce that here. You'll turn it on and then we'll have a reduction in that. Now over here, it's a little bit more tricky. You got to go down to About Phone, hit the build number multiple times, so developer options. You'll scroll down here, and I actually think 0.5x is closer to the reduced motion than 0x, so I'm going to go with 0.5x here. All right, so you can see everything is closed out for both phones. No recently used apps, no apps there. Let's go into calendar. And that still looked faster on the Samsung. Let's go into clock. Still faster on the Samsung. Swipe out of here. Go into calculator. And again, faster on the Samsung. We'll go to App Store, Play Store. Again, faster on the Samsung. As a matter of fact, this is kind of interesting. I've never done this test like this. It looks like we're seeing the actual speed here now. Let's go into ChatGPT. Significantly better on the Samsung. We'll go into Gemini, and that was also ahead on the Samsung. Grok, again on the Samsung. And even if I don't click them exactly perfect because I'm human error, that's a pretty significant gap. I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't be that far ahead. So let's go over here to trending. Once in the application, pretty much not too different. It's going to be network dependent there. So how fast it can load your feed should be enabled by how fast your internet is. Let's go into Instagram, and that is faster on the left. So nothing has opened first here on the iPhone yet. Although you see right here that Instagram tends to be performing better. It just kind of gets stuck right there on the Samsung as I'm scrolling, whereas it just kind of glides along here. So let's go ahead and swipe up out of here. Move the mic back a little bit, almost bumped into it. And we're going to go ahead and hit X here, 3, 2, go. And you've seen that was faster on the Samsung as well. We'll hit profile. And now that was faster on the iPhone. So in the application, it will depend on which app was better made for which platform. But I think that one might have been the iPhone. I could be wrong. Let's go into Groupon. That one was the Samsung. Go to categories. How about we go to food and drink, and faster on the Samsung, but looking smoother here on the iPhone. Let's swipe up out of here. We'll go into dead trigger. Oh, that was an accident. That's how responsive this is. Now I got to tap that and kind of swipe out of there. So it's pretty similar. Let's go ahead and hit dead trigger 2. 3, 2, go. And faster on the Samsung. So this is actually making me appreciate the speed of the S25 Ultra a little bit more, because I see more differences here now. That was faster on the iPhone than I did before. But in the game, you've seen that the iPhone had that loaded up pretty easily. Swipe up out of there. And let me know if you guys think that they look worse or better with the animations reduced, or if one looks better than the other. Let me know what your thoughts are about that down below. That's an interesting thing to talk about. You know, a lot of people say in my comments, you're only testing the animations, which is not entirely true, because we are doing benchmarks. We do video rendering sometimes, but I get what you're saying. Let's go to Call of Duty. I get what you're saying. Like, you can see a little bit more speed if you reduce them like we're doing here. And what I'm curious to know is, do you guys prefer it like this or not? Like, do you prefer your phone to look like the way it came out of the box, or do you like to tweak around with it? Let me know down below. But the Samsung had that a little bit faster for sure on Call of Duty. And this is something that I like about the newer phones. They're proving their performance prowess. Because before, I would always be kind of close on the Samsung speed test. But then when I got into like Call of Duty or something serious, the iPhone would just start slaying the Samsung devices. But now it's a different game. It's a different ball game. So we'll see what happens here on PUBG. And again, certain games could definitely outshine. Looks like we're getting a download here on the Samsung. So let me pause this. I'll be right back. We'll rerun this because this is downloading resources. That wasn't quite fair. All right, guys. So let's reopen PUBG Mobile and see what happens now. I did have those downloaded. I will test these before, like right before, and then the minute I get in the test, it starts downloading more updates and resources. I'm like, stop messing with my flow, bro. But you can see, let's go over here to OK. iPhone was in there. Probably have to hit guest. But anyway, you'll see there's not a substantial difference. I'm actually going to try that one more time just to confirm that was iPhone. We'll swipe up out of there. And we'll go to PUBG Mobile one more time just for good measure. And we'll see iPhone in the lead again. Checking for updates on the left. And iPhone with the W. Yes, so iPhone does, that was just for good measure, does win there in PUBG. Let's go into Free Fire. And you'll see Free Fire does launch there first on the Samsung. And we're out of here. And here comes iPhone. So really, iPhone has only won like 1 or 2 apps this whole test. Let's go into Geekbench 6. Faster on the iPhone. Now about 3. 3D Mark. Faster on the iPhone. Speed Test Net. Faster on the iPhone. So right after I said that, it says, shut up, Nick. Now faster on the Samsung. And Luma Fusion. Faster on the Samsung. So the Samsung won this test and opened more applications first. And I think that reduced animations really speeded it up. This one over here, it felt like it just kind of removed it. Didn't really speed it up too much, but it does visually slow it down, I feel like, with the motion on. But it's kind of like for visual effects. So if you like that, which most people do, that's why they leave it on. Kind of has a natural feel day to day on iOS. But the Samsung, if you're a performance head, you'll definitely love this phone definitely more. So let's go ahead and check how they do with RAM management now. I do think that the 0.5x is going to make a difference on the RAM management here for Samsung, because look how fast it looks now. Yeah, it definitely looks different than our previous test. And with the good lock enabled, I do have the side gesture turned off to make it even faster. I'll go over here to YouTube. Maybe we'll make a video how to activate beast mode on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I'll show you all my tips for top performance. And you'll see right there, this one did amazingly well. Sometimes I think though that the 0.5x takes away some of the visual pleasure. Like you will kind of like see it chop a little more if it does do any of that. It's kind of more noticeable because of the speed at which it's moving. It might stutter, but especially on 0x. Let's see how the iPhone does here. And you'll see, looks good. It kind of has like this. Before it was like a little bit of a slower fly out. With this, it kind of looks like it flashes a little bit. Looks like we had a reload there. Wow, are we getting reloads? 8 gigabytes of RAM, 3 reloads back to back? Oh no. Throttling Central, more than likely. We'll go over here to Instagram. That was 3 reloads. This is an automatic L for the iPhone here. Yep, they need to go to 12 gigs. That's it. Bottom line. Waiting a few more months to get that 12 gig of RAM. iPhone should have had that years ago. But still, it reloaded like 3 apps. That was very strange. It doesn't really do that. But did you guys think that it looked better with the reduced motion and RAM management, like going back through the apps? It's also noticeable here. It kind of doesn't look as pretty here, I think, when swiping through. I mean, it's smooth, but is it as visually pleasing? Let me know. Let's see how the Samsung looks there. in the app switcher and bring the focus over here. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, this one looks pretty fast. It doesn't look drastically different than 1X though. But definitely, what do you guys think of those app switchers on this mode? All right, so let's go ahead and do a real world test. We'll kind of just see how it does in the day-to-day. So Galaxy S25 Ultra is awesome. We'll go like that. Let's go ahead and swipe over here. And you'll see it kind of just pops right open there for that quick action that we can do right there. So let's go over to YouTube. As we swipe through, very fast scrolling. You can scroll it down there. And as we swipe like this, you'll see not a drastic difference. I don't know why the keyboard was way down there. Let's swipe up out of here. We'll go into X. And you can see basically what I'm perceiving here is that we do have just like a faster, you're just in there quicker with the 0.5X. It's not really changing the overall experience too much. It's just, you're just in there, the snappier. So that's how I would say that this is gonna operate. I think if you already think the Samsung phone feels too fast, this is gonna be like lightning speed compared to even that. So definitely does pretty good. Let's see how the iPhone does here with the real world usage. We'll go over here to Instagram. We'll take a look at this old 13. iPhone 13 is nice still in 2025. You'll see, I do think this feels faster going through like this. It's kind of like takes away that animation, but it still works pretty much how you'd like though. That's pretty good. Go here to speed test. And we go to App Store. We scroll through. It still retains its slower scrolling. So iPhone's not going to get faster scrolling by you putting on reduced motion. But what you are going to find is just maybe a nicer overall effect when going through these apps. It feels like you're going in stuff a little bit quicker. So I would enable this mode if you do want your phone to feel a little bit faster day to day and you're okay with maybe visually less pleasing. All right, so let's wrap it up. What is my conclusion on speed test 3? Doing reduced animations, I feel like the results have actually improved for the Samsung. The 0.5X actually made this phone fly across faster. I also thought it improved for the iPhone, but my general conclusion has still not changed. The Samsung still feels like the more powerful phone, and it should be that way. It is the latest phone. It's newer than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but at the same time, I think it's coming down to the speed at which the One UI operates versus iOS. I feel like iOS is going for a more visually slower, more natural kind of feel. Some people actually like that more, but even with reduced motion, it still doesn't feel faster than the Samsung S25 Ultra, as you've seen in this video. So that's going to wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys want to see more reduced motions or 0.5X type speed test? I will consider doing more of those with some other phones in the future if you found this interesting. This was very fun. I thought it was pretty fun to make. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you all in the very next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well. Nick here, and peace.